Hi, and welcome to the MuscleGloss and Car Guys installation guide. On behalf of the whole staff, let me say thank you for purchasing our product. We are certain that you will be amazed with the results. We've been gathering feedback since 2000 from customers and installers to ensure that you have the best information possible for a complete and easy installation. If you'd like a reference during your installation, all of the information in this video is available in written form on our websites at MuscleGloss or CarGuysFlooring.com. Whether you have purchased a residential kit or you're an installer using the product for the first time, this guide will provide you with all the information you need to achieve a smooth install with great results. Okay, a little about how this guide is structured. Every epoxy installation requires 3 phases: a floor inspection, floor prep, and epoxy application, which we will walk you through a bit later. Also included in this guide are easy-to-follow instructions for each of the other products, so this guide can be customized to your specific needs. For example, if you purchased one of our fill or patch products, you can simply click on the chapter with that name for instructions and usage for that product. If your install does not require fill or patch work, you won't have to watch those sections. It's your choice. You only get the information you need for your install. There are a few things that are important to every installation that I'd like to cover up front. When mixing epoxy resin with a hardener, you are essentially making a very durable plastic. A plastic that once applied will mechanically bond to the surface and cure to become 3 times stronger than cement. Since you are not making plastic in the lab, but rather in your garage or workshop, the elements can affect proper curing and adhesion. So here are some of the rules you should be aware of. First, epoxy should not be applied at temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit or when humidity is high. High heat and humidity will increase the curing rate, resulting in less time to apply the epoxy or improper curing. Ideal conditions are at room temperature between 64 and 74 degrees with a low humidity of less than 40%. The closer to these conditions you are for your install, the better your results will be. Also, you must wait at least 30 days to apply any of our epoxy or patching materials after a new cement has been poured. Following these guidelines will ensure the best possible curing and performance. Okay, some important notes about safety. Even though our epoxy is 100% solids, it is important to take precautions when working with any chemicals. So use this product in a ventilated area. Any chemical product should be kept out of the reach of children. Also, you'll want to avoid any contact with clothing, skin, or eyes. If contact with skin does occur, wash with cold water and mild soap for 15 minutes. If you get any product in your eyes, immediately flush with cold water for 15 minutes and contact a medical care provider. If swallowed, immediately contact a medical care provider or emergency room. Okay, let's get started. Phase 1, floor inspection. Phase 1 is essentially the job inspection. Take a good look at the area for the installation. Make sure to move any items necessary to see into the corners or edges of the floor. It is important to check the floor for cracks and pitted areas to determine if any patch or filler products are needed. Take note of the expansion joints and if any repair or fill is necessary. Check to see if paint or previously applied epoxy needs to be stripped or grinded away. At this time, you should also check for any oil, grease, or solution stains within the concrete, which might require cleaning products to remove. If necessary, make a list of concerns that will need to be addressed. This can help when shopping our website for the correct products needed for your install and serve as a checklist during the install. This is your checklist, which means that the amount of prep needed will depend on the outcome you want. Like any project, how detailed you get is up to you. We offer products to take you all the way to a showroom-looking surface, but if this is not the desired outcome, then obviously less prep work will be needed. Think about the use of the area. If this is a working environment such as a garage or shop floor, it may not be necessary to end with a perfectly smooth, unblemished surface. These decisions will impact the time and overall cost of your install. Phase 2, floor preparation. Naturally, you will need to remove all the items from the floor, and keep in mind that these items cannot be returned for over 24 hours following the application, so this may affect where you would like to put them. Next, use a broom to thoroughly sweep the entire floor. This is the time to prep any areas on your list. Any additional cleaning or repair work will need to be complete before applying the prep solution. The prep solution is an organic etching compound that acts like an acid to break up the cement and create a rough surface. Proper surface preparation is very important because it allows the epoxy to do its job, mechanically bonding to the nooks and crannies in the surface. If the surface is too smooth, the epoxy won't bond. Prep solution will not work on previously sealed, painted, or coated surfaces. If your floor has been previously sealed, painted, or coated, you will need to use a sander, sand blaster, or shop blaster to dislodge loose coatings and sufficiently rough up the surface. This is an example of a properly etched or roughed floor. This allows the epoxy to bond properly. Before we begin to mix any prep or epoxy solutions, please note all mixtures for your installation have been pre-measured. This means you don't have to be a chemist. Whenever a mixture is called for, you will be simply pouring the entire contents of the designated containers together. This is called the drop-in system and was created to make your install much easier and remove the confusion that comes with other epoxy installations. Okay, back to the prep. Rinse the floor with water first. Then, in a bucket, mix 1 part prep solution to 3 parts water. Mix the solution completely. 1 quart of the prep solution will clean up to 400 square feet of floor. If more than that is needed, consult your representative. You will need a mop or push broom to spread the prep solution. Begin scrubbing from the far back corner of the floor to the entry. Be certain to use the prep solution liberally in areas with cracks or crevices. Once completed, spray down the floor using only water from the hose. Be certain that all prep solution is completely washed away. Prep solution is eco-friendly and will not harm grass, plants, or asphalt driveways. Blanched foam may develop as the water from the hose washes the prep solution away. This is not a problem. After the prep solution has been applied and thoroughly washed away, the floor must be dry before applying the epoxy. People can walk across the floor. However, don't return items to the room or park vehicles on the floor. If available, household fans can speed up the drying time. Phase 3. Epoxy application. You'll want to work from the far back of the application area when applying the epoxy. You shouldn't stand or walk on the epoxy during the application process or immediately following the application. One great tip we've learned is that wearing spiked shoes, such as lawn aerator spikes, will allow you to walk over the epoxy during the application. If you would like to purchase a pair, they are available through carguysflooring.com website, but they are not required for the install. First, let's open the 5-gallon pail lid and remove the Part B gallon can from the plastic cradle. Then, remove the plastic cradle. Premix both Part A, the contents in the 5-gallon pail, and Part B, the contents in the gallon can together. Pour the entire contents of Part B into the contents of the 5-gallon Part A pail. Mix for approximately 2 minutes at a low drill speed to avoid creating bubbles in the mixture. We need to express to you the importance of a good mix. After a minute, use a large mixing stick to pull away any of the solution from the sides of the bucket into the mix and then finish mixing with the drill. This is an example of a good mix versus a bad mix. Once that's done, pick up the bucket, holding it firmly with one hand on the bottom of the bucket and the other hand on the bucket handle. If the product sits in the bucket, it will begin to harden quickly. At no time should the epoxy be left in the pail. Pour the entire contents across the floor in a straight line, making sure the width of the epoxy poured out spreads approximately 12 to 14 inches on the floor. Move quickly when pouring the epoxy line onto the floor. A good tip that we have learned is to leave the epoxy bucket upside down on the floor. You will be amazed how much more epoxy you can extract from the bucket by doing this. To ensure consistent coverage, initially spread the epoxy with a squeegee and then back roll a coating into the surface. When working in a garage such as we are, don't completely close the garage door until the flooring is totally cured, because the door may stick to the epoxy floor. After the application is complete, the product must cure for 24 hours. People and pets should not walk across the floor, and items should not be put back while the epoxy is curing. It's a good idea to take precautions such as closing windows and doors to prevent any debris from sticking to the floor. Paint thinner will clean any tools used during the process. Well, there you have it. A great look that will last for years to come. If for any reason something in this video was unclear, or if you need any further explanation, give us a call at 866-258-9500 or visit our websites at MuscleGloss or CarGuysFlooring.com. Thanks for watching.